In case of emergency, break out Titus O'Neil. It's This Week in Regret. Hello and welcome to everyone. Passionate, heartfelt, bizarre. These are just some of the words used to describe Titus O'Neil's opening speech this past week on Monday Night Raw. The former tag champ and current global ambassador told fans on Monday that WWE's mission was to put smiles on people's faces, saying, quote, "That's why you'll never hear us talking about politics, religion, or any other subject matter that's divisive, because regardless of your race, economic status, or nationality, this is a place that we deserve to have as a safe haven," end quote. It's certainly a nice sentiment. I too subscribe to the idea of wrestling is for everyone, but I think it's the timing of this speech that has people scratching their heads and some calling it out and out propaganda. I mean, keep in mind right now Vince McMahon is embroiled in a hush money scandal, and there's been reports of female talent expressing frustration with how they've been treated in the company for the last couple of years. You know, just thinking out loud, WWE doesn't talk about divisive topics. They don't talk about politics or religion. I don't know how to tell you this, but I happen to have an entire YouTube channel dedicated to the stuff they've done like that. It's kind of their bag. They say that WWE is not divisive. Tell that to the people on Twitter every week debating on whether or not this week's show was the worst of all time. I mean, the whole point of professional wrestling is conflict resolution through violence. You can't get much more divisive than that. I feel kind of bad for Titus here. I mean, you gotta believe he's got a job for life based on what he's done for the company as an ambassador with his philanthropic nature and everything. But the guy was almost fired for grabbing Vince McMahon's arm in an act of chivalry. He was made to share the stage with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania in Tampa, and now he's brought out here to give a speech about how hunky-dory everything is and how WWE's one big family. Doesn't sit right with me. Let's just keep our eyes open for the next few weeks to see how many more speeches like this Titus may be doing. As reports have come out that WWE is not happy with how the Summerslam card is shaping up. Boy, if only there was something they could do to fix that. One thing that some fans are definitely excited for is the show's change to their TV rating. Rumors of WWE switching their rating from TV PG to 14 have been swirling for weeks now, but we finally know the rating change will be happening, for now at least, at next Saturday's Summerslam. Now, obviously, there's no way of knowing just what this means for programming until it actually happens. But what's it really going to mean? More swearing, I guess. More toilet humor, that checks out. Blood? Maybe? I mean, it's hard to really tell at this point because I think WWE already gets away with a lot of stuff as is with their PG rating, so what more are they really going to gain with this magical change in their rating? Do you think the Attitude Era is going to be coming back? I don't think so. As long as the same people are all still in charge in the creative aspect of things, what more are we going to get? What differences are there going to be? I don't really see them happening. I think the content's going to be the same, but maybe a little ramped up. AEW gets away with saying shit all the time, so maybe that's what WWE is going to get out of this deal. Who really knows for sure, but you can make compelling stories without having to be edgy for the sake of being edgy. It's possible, you know, just take care of the stories and the characters and the rest takes care of itself. But what do you think about this rating change? Let me know in the comments. And independent wrestlers come under fire for using a sexually charged move in the ring, and he's drawing some unfavorable comparisons along the way. This clip comes to us from San Jose, California, as UGWA hosted their More Gay Shit event this past weekend. Here EFFY is wrestling Sandra Moon, doing a unique twist on the old corner punches spot. You can see Moon turning the tables with headbutts of her own before hitting a powerbomb. Many fans cried foul about this spot online, some comparing EFFY to Joey Ryan. Prior to the pandemic, Ryan became famous or infamous for his dick flip spot as well as the boobplex he would use on female wrestlers. Ryan has since been out of the wrestling scene once he was accused by multiple people of sexual assault in 2020. Many people later came out and claimed they felt pressured to doing those spots with Joey for fear of retaliation. EFFY has remained quiet about his pelvic thrusts himself, but Sandra Moon has gone on social media to defend it, saying that she approved of the spot and thought it was funny and has dismissed any comparisons between EFFY and Ryan. Now, devoid of context and background, you could look at what EFFY and Sandra Moon did and compare it to the Joey Ryan dick flip spot and say that, oh, those are two very similar moves. But keep in mind, this was a 21 and over Pride-themed event featuring an openly gay wrestler who's made his career turning the whole gay panic trope in wrestling on its head. That's kind of what EFFY does. And based on Sandra Moon's response, her defense of the spot should be indication enough that both parties were fine with it and everything was cool. Wrestling has a rich history of people's faces coming into contact with other people's nether regions without much issue. Anyone ever seen the Bronco Buster before? How about the stink face? Anyone ever cry sexual assault when that was going down? Especially if the gender roles were reversed? Not to mention, the first clip that circulated with the pelvic thrust spot only showed EFFY's side of the exchange, not the full sequence with Sandra Moon fighting back. Would people have still been as mad if they had seen the full spot? It's okay if you don't like spots like these. If you're a fan and watching it makes you uncomfortable, that's fine. If you're a worker and you don't want to do those spots, it should be fine. You shouldn't be forced to do them. And I can concede that in the post-speaking out world that maybe moves like these should be left in the past. But if the setting is right, if the parties all agree to it, and if the context is right, and if everyone's having a good time when it happens, I'm not entirely sure what we're complaining about. I mean, wrestling is, in a way, it's partly burlesque and all, so spots like this, I feel, fall into that category. Again, if everyone's cool with it. In other news, fans of Major League Wrestling have a new place to go for merchandise. It was announced this past week that MLW and Hot Topic have entered a new merchandising partnership. The launch took place last Thursday and includes shirts featuring stars like Hammerstone, Jacob Fatu, Gangrel, Taya Valkyrie, and many more. If you want to look at their entire collection, the link is in the description. I'll tell you what, this news makes me really happy for MLW. We've seen the big strides this company has been making in the last couple of years, getting bigger, expanding their reach, and expanding their base and so forth, constantly finding ways to grow. And I think that this partnership with Hot Topic is huge for them. Remember the last wrestlers to get Hot Topic deals? Folks at the Young Bucks and Danhausen and stuff, how cool it was to see their merchandise in stores. And now fans of MLW are going to get the same experience, and those who may not be familiar with MLW are going to get some possible exposure that way. I think this deal is good for MLW, good for the wrestlers, great for the fans. Time now for my favorite thing in wrestling this week. They say that imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, but forget flattery, somebody's owed a royalty check. Check out the man known as Axiom. The former A-Kid from NXT UK has now made his mark on NXT 2.0 with this masked character seen on this week's show. But if he looks a little familiar to you, take a look at this guy. This is Razorwing, a masked luchador best known for his work in Chikara. You don't need me to tell you how similar these looks are, right on down to the hand gestures. Now, the way I see it, there's coincidence, then there's dead-ass thievery. Now, I'm not accusing WWE of outright, intentionally, maliciously stealing Razorwing's look. I think it's possible somebody had a dream or some kind of vision where, oh, maybe this masked golden wrestler, and that's what they came up with, and the fact that it looks just like another established wrestler, I mean, the odds are pretty slim. Again, I'm not ruling out malice, but I'm also not ruling out the fact that it's a coincidence. I can't imagine a company as big as WWE, though, would allow something like that to fly under their radar. Surely, when they were making the gear and designing everything, that surely somebody could have looked at that and said, hey, let's cross-reference that with anything else out there and see if it matches. I mean, this is as close a match as you can possibly get. This is like a Jimmy Hartified version. If this wrestling gear was an entrance theme, this feels like Jimmy Hart's version of it, in my opinion. But what do you think about this? All I'll say is maybe go watch some Razorwing matches on Tuesday nights instead until Axiom gets a slightly modified look. Thanks for watching This Week in Regret, folks. Let me know what you thought about these and other stories I might have missed in the comments section below. Little reminder, I will not have my Death Before Dishonor review out until a little bit later, a few days from now, because I will be out of town Saturday night. I'll be helping call the action for Midget Wrestling Warriors in Canyonville, Oregon. Very excited about that. And of course, next weekend, I will be in Nashville, Tennessee for all the STARRCAST festivities. On Sunday, I'll be hosting the return of Saraya, her first post-WWE appearance. The former Paige will be talking about a lot of stuff, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say. If you want to order that show and all the other great things happening in STARRCAST weekend, you can go order them through Fight TV using the link I have at the top of the description. And of course, more information is on STARRCAST.com. But until then, folks, I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.